Steve needs to go around. But if he passes too close, he risks blowing the cyclist off his bike.
Now I've got to move out here and hope like hell that this southbound vehicle understands what I'm doing.
Trucking veteran Steve Grahame's heading to the beach.
It's really unusual for me in my life to actually get to a beach somewhere.
But it's no vacation.
You do anything silly out here, you pay for it.
The coast is a bone-crunching 600 kilometres away, at the very top of Australia. Steve must conquer the treacherous Gibb River Road to get there. It's notorious for eating trucks alive.
Idle along, grit your teeth.
On the outskirts of Kununurra, Steve hitches up the road train. He's on a rescue mission for two good mates. Hundreds of kilometres away, husband and wife trucking team Joe and Nick Atkins are in strife on the edge of the continent.
We've got a truck down at the moment with the wheel bearing and just too much work on. We've got Steve to do this run for us.
Steve gave us our very first job 10 years ago.
And they want a handle, we'll head over there and see what we can do for them.
To deliver the favour, Steve will travel over 600 tyre-crunching kilometres, from Kununurra in Western Australia to an isolated camping ground near Columbaroo. Steve needs all his skills.
Pretty rough, this one.
Refined over 40 years behind the wheel.
I reckon I'm getting off this bloody road onto another worse road.
If he's to conquer this truck-killing road.
And then you get the odd local customer like him and he ain't scared of nothing.
Steve's cargo is massive. 5 shipping containers, fully loaded with building materials and fuel.
This is the last bits of it.
His faithful companion Bella is along for the ride, back on the road after busting 2 of her ribs.
Righto. Oh, well, that's good. I've got everything chained down and I'm on the road again.
Steve knows Joe and Nick's reputation is on the line. He has to win this battle with the notorious Gibb River Road.
That's the end of that beautiful bitumen and the start of the bloody corrugations. Got 600 kilometres to go.
And every one of them a bone-shaking and load-bashing ordeal to endure.
Here we go. There's the Pentecost River down there.
The waters may look tranquil, but the hidden dangers beneath even have an old hand like Steve concerned.
The worry with crossings like this is you get rocks between your jewels and then you blow 2 tyres or rip the sidewalls out of a couple. You can hear some of the rocks banging up underneath us. And of course we're dragging 3 trailers through here, 62 wheels.
Catastrophe can strike at any moment, leaving Steve and his giant cargo stranded, with only crocodiles for company.
It's giving it a bit of pain here and there.
You never know what can happen out here doing what we do.
For 9 months of the year, husband and wife truckers Danielle and Anthony Haig live on board their rig in one of the loneliest places on Earth.
No communications with the outside world, really. We're living in our own bubble here.
In Australia's Northern Territory, the vast emptiness of the Barkly Tablelands is the couple's home away from home.
We got so excited.
And it's one big adventure for their 4-year-old son, Heath.
He loves this life. His dad's meaning me.
But for a city girl like Danielle,
I hate bugs.
it's taking time to adjust to life on the road.
What? Look at it. Oh, yuck! Oh, seriously, can you kill it?
The family are driving in a 2-truck convoy with their mate, Hazy. Their mission, find water in one of the driest places on Earth.
We drill holes and hunt for water
The trucks are fitted with enormous industrial drills to pummel deep underground in search of subterranean water supplies.
You don't know what's underground until you start drilling. It's quite disappointing when you don't hit water. And
For many outback farmers, it's the only way to survive in this barren landscape. From Mount Isa, the water drillers are driving over 650 confronting kilometres to find water on Calvert Hill Station in the Northern Territory.
Have a big whop of land here and they've got no water on it, so if they can get a bore in here, they can utilise their country a bit more and run a few more cattle.
But getting there is a challenge.
Hopefully we don't do any damage.
Ahead lie dirt tracks littered with jagged rocks.
Yeah, another flat tyre. Hopefully we don't get too many more.
And hundreds of kilometres of dust-choked, unsealed roads.
getting to the actual holes on this station are a nightmare.
Day one, and the water drillers hit problems before they even hit the road.
Picked up a bloody manifold and exhaust in town there yesterday, but the exhaust is there, but the manifold's not there.
It's crucial they get on the road quickly. Anthony hits the phone, trying to track down the missing manifold.
No, it's not in the box, just the exhaust is in the box.
Without it, the camp generator is useless.
So he's just going to go and have a look out the back and see what's in there. And yeah, I suppose someone's going to have to go to town and pick it up. So there's another extra 400 k's.
One missing part forces a 400-kilometre detour just to get to the starting line.
This is my man cave, this is my office when I'm home. Not that I'm home very often. That was when I first came to Australia back in the 80s, racing motocross. Voila. This is our latest and greatest. Our own nitro toilet. Even comes with redback spiders under the toilet seat.
Larrikin trucker Sludge loves trucks and speed.
The crazies aren't out.
It's time for one quick burnout with his 11-year-old son, Sean, before work comes calling.
He's actually better than me now. I love my son, but I love my job, so...
The demands of the road can be hard on a trucking dad.
In the last 8 weeks, I've probably had 2, maybe 3 days with him.
Sludge has made a father's promise to make it back from his last fuel run of the year in time to spend Christmas in New Zealand with Sean. With only days till they fly, it's not going to be easy. It's harvest season in Western Australia. Good rains have yielded the second highest grain crop ever, almost $7 billion worth.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty busy. The week was very good.
It's our busiest time. We probably pull more fuel than we do all year round. Somewhere between 4.2 and 5 million litres.
Getting fuel delivered to the farmers on time is crucial.
If we don't get it right, the customers don't have the fuel.
If he's late, the crops could wither in the fields.
We're going to shut the whole operation down if we run out of diesel.
Harvest, there's no excuses. Unless you're dead, that's probably the only excuse.
Sludge faces a marathon round trip, supplying fuel to desperate farmers. A 400-kilometre trek north from Perth to Geraldton and an exhausting 1,100-kilometre dash south to Esperance. Sludge is under double the pressure. Keep the farmers in fuel and honour the Christmas promise to his son. And after a run of bad luck, he's doing it all one-handed.
The joys of one hand, trying to hook everything up.
First, he was hospitalised after a highly venomous snake bit him.
Picked up a big stick and it had a dugite underneath it, snapped me on the end of that finger there. All right.
5 days later, he smashed his thumb.
Dropped the turntable, 300 kilos on it, and I broke the thumb through the middle, dislocated it, and broke the tendons that run it. We're ready. Yeah, we've got a full load on, about 68,000 litres, 100 tonne, all up.
On his first leg north, Sludge needs to unload all his fuel and return to Perth with an empty tank. And all in one day.
It'll be a big day to get around them all, and then home in the morning, reload for south. Just pulling into Roger's place. This is our first delivery for this run. Do you want to bring the header over?
Grain farmer Roger Dring is hammer down, harvesting the crop, but fuel levels are critically low.
How full are you?
It'll take probably 200 or 300, I suppose.
Yep, all right. Like most of our customers, they've all become good friends.
Wait, yep.
Well, 800 litres.
800.
Beautiful.
Sludge saves the day.
They only had another day left and they would have been out. So if we'd have had a hold up, they actually would have run out of fuel.
And there's Christmas cheer in the air.
Richard just brought me lunch out and some Christmas decorations. Ah, cool. Along there. My son, Sean, and I fly out. We've got 2 weeks in New Zealand together.
Just when Sludge is confident he might make the plane, at the next drop-off, there's a problem.
Gotta love it. Some lovely person has left the bloody mobile in front of the Bowser.
This trailer is blocking Sludge's access to the fuel tank.
F***ing hopeless.
If Sludge can't unload quickly, the promise to his son will be blown out of the water.
It's giving it a bit of pain here and there.
Steve Grahame's mercy dash to help out mates Nick and Joe has turned into a major shakedown.
You can hear some of the rocks banging up underneath us.
Steve has 40 years' experience as a trucker, but with a rig 53.5 metres long, weighing 90 tonnes.
So that's what it is, all big round boulders down there, churning up and spitting out.
The river crossing is a huge test.
Big trailers through here, 62.
Rock fragments, sharp as spears, can jag a tyre and bring him to a grinding halt.
The worry is that if the little round rocks get between the jewels. Righto, I better go and check that there's no rocks between my wheels. Let the dog have a drink in the creek. Watch out for crocodiles, doggy.
While Steve checks his 62 tyres survived the crossing, Bella keeps an eye out for unwanted visitors. The tyres are intact, but the rough crossing has shaken Steve's load.
Look at that, this one's moved across. You wouldn't think it would do it, but they do it.
Back on the road. Back to hours of grueling corrugations. The treacherous gib is taking its toll.
Oh, I don't know what's going on now. I've got brakes come on somewhere back there. Let's have a look at what's going on here. You can see the brakes locked on and skidding down the road. This brake here appears to be the problem.
It's a major brake failure that can only be fixed from underneath the truck. With only 2 of the truck's 16 brakes locked on, it's a dangerous task.
Now, I really don't like doing this, getting under a trailer on a hill like this, but...
Steve takes out a little extra insurance. A rock and 2 brakes are all that stand between Steve and disaster. If anything slips, he's a goner.
Picked up a bloody manifold and exhaust. Exhaust is there, but the manifold's not there. We'll just give him a bit of a ring and see what's happening.
The water drillers are on a 500-kilometre race to northeast Queensland to find water beneath a drought-ravaged farm. But a missing part is delaying their departure.
No, it's not in the box, just the exhaust is in the box.
No, you don't need it.
Just the latest drama of life on the road for Danielle, Anthony and 4-year-old Heath.
Our home on wheels consists of 2 shipping containers converted into living quarters.
For 3/4 of the year, they literally live in a box on wheels.
Try and fit all the
Space is at a premium.
As you can see, I just hid the eggs under there so they don't break.
Danielle's talents don't stop on the home front.
Watch my truck, mate.
This rookie trucker now drives the big rigs. She's thrown away her L plates.
No worries. Thanks, mate. Cheers.
With
Bye.
time pressing, Anthony pulls the pin. The family will risk the journey without the spare part. Most drivers have to focus on the road and their truck. For mother truckers, there's added complications.
Oh, what's wrong? Did you jam your fingers? What'd you do? Talk to me. Oh, you gotta be more careful, darling.
The 2-truck, 7-trailer convoy enters the unforgiving landscape of Australia's top end. And second driver Hazy soon strikes trouble. Losing a tyre this early is a real blow.
Yeah, I don't think a plug's going to take that up. Yeah, she's pretty big, ain't she?
As well prepared as they are,
We'll just chuck this spare on there and we should be able to keep going.
they only have space for limited spares.
It hasn't even hit the dirt yet.
If the dirt, the rocks, and the dust take their toll, their mission could be derailed before it's barely begun.
Some lovely person has left a bloody mobile in front of the Bowser.
Sludge's harvest fuel run has hit a major roadblock.
Can I hopeless?
A fully laden trailer is parked right where his road train needs to unload. If he can't access the tank, he can't make his tight delivery, throwing his schedule out the window. But Lady Luck is smiling on Sludge.
Found a car.
A farmhand returns and moves the trailer. At last, Sludge can get in, unload the fuel,
Go away when.
and get out.
All right, another one done. Oh, the day slipped away today. Just one of those days.
Sludge is already 2 hours behind schedule. He needs the next fuel delivery to go smoothly. Sludge, the businessman, is crunching the numbers.
I worked on 15,000 here.
Something doesn't add up.
I reckon we might only get rid of about 10. We're not going to take enough. That'll be a pain in the ass.
To make a profit, Sludge needs to offload all the fuel,
We don't get paid to take it home, we get paid to get rid of it.
or he'll be lumbered with half a tank of fuel he's already paid for.
Right, one more to go. Better luck they'll take the rest of what I got and I won't have anything left to take back to town.
8 p.m, the final drop-off. He needs the customer to be desperate for fuel. In pitch darkness,
Where is it?
Sludge struggles to find the tank's fuel gauge.
Is that it there?
Sludge's bank balance will take a serious hit
Is it?
if the farmer's tank is too full.
You're guilty. Looking good. We're going to get rid of her all? Just.
He's dodged a bullet. Sludge leaves with an empty tank and a full wallet.
We've got rid of 68,500 litres today. Good effort.
Now, I really don't like doing this, getting under a trailer on a hill like this.
130 kilometres up the notorious Gibb River Road. Steve Grahame is risking serious injury to solve a problem.
What was that noise?
He can't figure out why his air brakes have seized and locked the wheels. If Steve can't unlock his brakes, he could be stranded here for days.
don't want to move. You hose clamp. I found the problem. I had a maxi booster replaced on this trailer. The hose clamp obviously wasn't tightened up properly, and it's just dropped the hose clamp. And this particular brake here has got no air going to it, so the maxi's locked on.
The simple hose clamp is just the latest victim of the corrugated road.
Well, that's that sorted, I think. A silly little 50-cent, 75-cent hose clamp, you know?
But the corrugations aren't about to make Steve's life any easier.
It's pretty rough, this one. These bloody corrugations, I just went to grab a gear then and I just couldn't get it out of gear. Then this is not good.
On one of Australia's toughest, hottest roads,
Well,
the last thing he expects to see is a lone cyclist.
all I can say is good on her. It's a tough job driving the Gibb River without riding it.
Steve still has 360 kilometres of this trucking hell to conquer.
I'm a bit under 5 kilometres an hour now. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm getting sick of these corrugations already. I'm going to call it a day. Come on, Bill.
After 13 hours in the saddle, battling everything the road throws at him,
No, not again.
the Gibb River Road strikes again.
We'll just chuck this spare on there and we should be able to keep going.
In the Northern Territory, a blown tyre, a lengthy delay. The water drillers need to get back on the road. In this vast landscape, the roads are so long they can narrow to the width of a single vehicle. For road trains travelling at 100 kilometres an hour, there are some unwritten rules. Rule 1, never let the wheels drift off the bitumen.
We drop off to the side, like we'd just shower them in rocks and end up smashing their windscreen and stuff like that.
Rule 2, caravans give way to road trains. Probably.
You wonder whether he's going to pull off or not.
Rule 3, never play chicken with a ton of bad-tempered beef.
Yeah, this old girl, she's just going to plod along here as slow as she can across the road. She's not in there in a hurry. Right now, mate.
The further north the drillers go, the rougher the tarmac becomes.
Some of the country we can go into, you know, like we've gone 40 k's and done 7 tyres. Like, you're a fair way away from a tyre shop to get another tyre, so hopefully not much more will go wrong.
And out of the blue, another setback.
I've just had a blowout. I'll just pull over here. You just wait there, mate. I'm just going to check the tyre, okay?
Why?
Because we had a blowout.
Why did it do that?
Probably worn out or something, mate. Okay, you wait there. A bit of a blowout on the inside tyre there.
Yet another dead tyre, and they haven't even hit the dirt.
We've got rid of 68,500 litres today. Good effort.
Near Geraldton, sludge has worked into the night, delivering fuel for farmers desperate for diesel during harvest time.
That was a late one last night, so I had a bit of a sleep in this morning. Now it's time to head south.
He's back on the road on an 1,100 kilometre run to Esperance.
We go over and above with our maintenance to make sure we just don't have any hold-ups, because you can't afford to.
With his damaged hand throbbing, Sludge has just 24 hours to make his final deliveries and get home in time to spend Christmas with his son, Sean.
This is the last run for me for the year, and then we'll go and do a bit of Christmas shopping.
But in the field, there are millions of dollars worth of crops that won't get harvested without Sludge's diesel. A long, steep hill is proving a challenge for his 81-tonne rig.
Yeah, we're doing a grand 25 kilometres an hour. She's just running a little bit hot. Something wrong here. Something made a bit of a pop.
Sludge's truck is dangerously overheating.
I'll pull up. Temperature gauge is right up. That's not normal. I should have dropped by now. I'll have a bit of a look and... Oh, shit. And see what's going on.
Stranded 60 kilometres from the nearest town, Sludge needs all his bush mechanic skills to get the road train moving again.
Really just a pain in the arse. I'm just going to do this. Oh, look at that. All the bolts are falling out. All the bolts are falling out the top of the alternator. Everything's come loose.
The alternator is vital for charging the battery. Without it, Sludge can't move.
If I haven't got any nuts, I won't be going anywhere.
In the far north, Steve Grahame steels himself for a tough day ahead. The Gibb River Road has done everything it can to defeat him.
The quarter guard's not just cosmetic, it's there for a real reason. All the stones that fly off this steer tyre bash into those oil filters. They knock a hole in the oil filter, that's the engine oil filter, drops my engine oil. And there we go. Imagine the damage that would have happened if I hadn't realised what was going on. It would have gone under tyres and...
It's a lucky break for Steve, but he still has to deliver the massive cargo for his mates, Nick and Joe.
I'll have the leprechaun stuck on the window. You're supposed to bring me luck. See how you go. Today's got to be a better day.
To get to the end of this truck-busting journey, he'll need all the luck he can get.
Well, lucky leprechaun, thank you. There is a grader here.
Steve's leprechaun seems to be working. This stretch of the Gibb River Road has been recently graded and the corrugation smoothed out.
Into the jump-up country now.
In the outback, jump-ups are slang for steep hills.
We're getting a bit closer to that mongrel theatre jump-up now.
The theatre jump-up is one of Steve's nemesis. 350 metres of nerve-wracking climb.
I am going to have a crack at it with the 3 trailers.
To deliver on time, Steve is about to attempt something he's never done before.
Get myself in the lowest of my low gears, engage all of my diff locks and cross locks.
Pull 3 trailers, nearly 100 tonnes, up in one go.
It's loose surface now, it's scary as shit.
Make it, and he'll succeed where many have failed.
This is where it gets scary.
In the desolate Barkly tablelands of the Northern Territory, the water drillers have suffered another blow. Anthony's truck has shredded yet another tyre.
We'll have to change it here, it's all wrapped around the axle there.
This is their 3rd blowout, and with 300 kilometres still to go, they're seriously running out of spares. Anthony's 4-year-old son, Heath, is an apprentice Outback trucker.
He's more advanced than bloody town kids, you know. He's always out doing something every day, not locked inside, playing bloody computer games. And good job. Another flat tyre. Hopefully we don't get too many more.
Oh, I hope we don't.
Why?
For a family that's used to life on the road, it's already been a challenging journey.
Oh, on my legs, sitting down, driving.
Daybreak brings a battle with the ever-present outback dust.
I'm trying to get rid of all the red dust that got in here yesterday.
Outside, Dad discovers another serious problem for the family.
He thought it wasn't tight enough, so he thought he'd tighten it up with a big steel bar. And
In his enthusiasm to help out, young Heath has broken a grease cover on one of the wheels.
the bearings will get hot and they'll seize, and then 2 wheels will fall off. He likes to try and help make sure everything's right, so I suppose you can't blame him for that. Lucky he's got another one, eh, mate? You gonna help me put it on?
Heath's handiwork is fixed. The convoy is back on track. The Calvert Road signals the start of 210 kilometres of rough as guts dirt track. Rookie trucker Danielle is driving one of the trucks.
In the hot seat now, yes.
Anthony is ahead in the ute, spotting trouble.
Oh, righto, yep. Anthony just worries all the time, and he reckons I go too fast.
Hidden on the track are deep potholes filled with a superfine dust called bull dust.
Yeah, Danielle, you got a few bull dust patches here. How do you get it? So you take it steady through.
Yeah, righto, boss.
Hard to spot and treacherous at speed, bull dust can choke the truck and blind the driver.
Now we've got to go through a big bull dust patch. Oh well, can only wing it.
The bull dust patches on Calvert Road are massive.
Whoa.
Danielle is in danger of rolling the truck.
It's freaking me out.
She has no option but to keep going, driving blind.
Oh,
60 kilometres south of Perth,
the bolt to fall out.
Sludge's engine is falling apart.
All the nuts and everything's missing. If I haven't got any nuts, I won't be going anywhere. I've got to have the nuts to actually get it back together.
With a badly damaged hand, he struggles to fix a busted alternator.
We can't afford to have things like this going wrong out here.
He's desperate to complete his deliveries and make it home in time for Christmas with his son.
Jesus, it's hot too. Just what you want to be doing with a bung hand.
Sludge's reputation is hanging by a thread.
That's the bolt, still there. Thread's a bit buggered on it, so we'll have a look. I'll see if we can find another one.
If he can't find the correct nut, his trip south is over.
This is where the bolts are.
Letting down his customers and disappointing his son.
Wash it. Ooh, look at that. That fits.
Sludge's box of random bolts delivers.
Very lucky the bolt didn't come out and cut all the fan belts up.
Sludge dodges disaster, but has lost valuable time.
Lost a bloody hour and a half out of that lot, so the day's bloody slipping away pretty quick now.
Sludge is late for the next drop-off.
It's full on at this time of the year.
In double quick time, he needs to position his truck and unload thousands of litres of desperately needed fuel.
You never know what you're going to run into at these places. Yeah, somebody's been real helpful, put a truck in the road. Looks like I'm going to have to drive a bloody Volvo. Unbelievable. I'll have to go through my cupboard and get a dress out, put a skirt on.
A driverless truck is causing Sludge more delays.
Got to move it out of the way and so I can get in.
But for this farmer, he's delivering just in the nick of time.
We were on the last 2,000 litres, so we were a bit low.
Hey!
Mikey,
How are you, mate? There's the boss. The boss is here this morning.
where's it starting up? Bloody...
You thought, oh, that nice bastard's going to fill me truck, surely.
Sludge has one final drop-off.
Now now we're heading out into nowhere.
before he heads home for Christmas.
It's the last farmer between there and the desert. How are you, mate? I'm all right. Long time no see. Yeah, mate. Been a long year, but it's finished. That's one trailer empty. Got a 7-hour run home.
He's delivered almost 140,000 litres of fuel,
We're going to get rid of her all? Just. Gosh.
suffered breakdowns,
If I haven't got any nuts, I won't be going anywhere.
hold-ups,
Hopeless.
and driven over 1,500 kilometres in just 3 days. Finally, Sludge is back home, and just in time for a father to keep a promise to his son.
It's nice to be home. Go and see the young fella and see what he's up to. Hello. I'm back. Oh, you had a good week?
In the far north, rookie truck driver Danielle is up to her axles in bull dust.
It's freaking me out.
Driving blind, in danger of rolling her truck. She survives a highly dangerous bull dust patch.
That's over with.
Danielle's battled the bull dust, but the dirt road still tests the novice trucker.
It's going to be like this for the next 100 k's. It's going to be slow torture.
A massive hill crest brings a sharp descent that spells trouble.
She's pretty steep. She's really steep.
A sharp drop.
Sakes.
She can't stop. Using her brakes could be disastrous.
You can't put your foot on the brake too much because you'll burn your brakes. Oh, listen to her. She's revving the shit out of her. Oh, my hands are sweaty. Did it. Still freaked me out, though. My palms are all sweaty.
Finally, Danielle and the team make it to the first water drilling site at Culvert Hill Station.
Yeah, we're going to put a bore down here for him. He's got no water in this area. See what we can get for him.
After 6 months without rain, there are no guarantees that the drillers will strike water. Station owner Will McMillan is desperate for Anthony and Danielle to be successful. His cattle are parched. An 8-inch drill head bores through hard rock in search of liquid gold. It's a long, dusty process, punishing for man and machine. The drill has gone as deep as it can go, and the signs are not good. The dry hole spews out dust and dirt. The drillers are devastated.
Drilled 126 metres here, no water.
One of them things, a bit of hit and miss every now and then.
At the end of the day, like, no one likes a dry hole, and we don't either. We're a lot more happy if we can get water for them.
The search for water doesn't end there.
Where are we going to? Packing up, heading to the next hole.
The water drillers have enough supplies to survive out here for a month.
They've got to get water now. I'll have to wait till this time next year.
They won't leave Culvert Station high and dry. Somewhere beneath this sun-scorched landscape is water.
That's what we're here for, is to find water.
But the task ahead only promises to get tougher.
And the whole road train's committed to the slope now.
In the far northwest, on a mercy dash for mates, Steve Grahame is attempting something he's never done before.
This is where it gets scary.
Hauling 3 trailers and nearly 100 tonnes up the treacherous feeder jumper. ...350 metres of steep incline.
I've got to try and pick that bit between wheel spin and stall out.
he needs all the grunt of his 600 horsepower engine.
As I feel the rough bits of ground, I just ease off on the throttle ever so slightly. And of course, here's the mongrel bit up in front of me, this nasty little pinch. It's loose surface now, it's scary as shit.
If the wheels start spinning, his massive rig will be stranded on the hill.
Oh, I just had wheel spin. Every now and then I feel those wheels just start to break traction. She's hanging on.
Feeder.
That's the first time in my trucking career I've pulled 3 up here.
Is finally conquered. On the notorious Gibb River Road, Steve's truck is bashed and bruised.
Well, it's good to be nearly there.
But not beaten. A grueling journey ends with a welcome reunion.
Hey, how you going?
Trucking mates Nick and Joe are thrilled to see Steve and his load make it to the coast in one piece.
How are you, love? You good? Oh, this is good. I get 2 cuddles. Right, well, there you go. There's the ocean just over there. You know, Australia's a bloody big country, but I finally got to one end of it.
Steve has called on all his skills to defeat one of Australia's toughest roads.
That's the last container off. The job's done. It's really unusual for me in my life to actually get to a beach somewhere and to be able to sit back and enjoy good friends and look out over the ocean.
An Outback legend has earned the right to kick back and relax.
Another day, another dollar. Here we go, we're into it.
Veteran trucker Steve Grahame has been driving road trains through the Australian Outback for 40 years. But his biggest challenge is still to come.
It's a beautiful Sunday drive this morning. Couldn't ask for more.
From his home base in Perth, he's preparing to take on Australia's largest desert, the Great Victoria.
Once again, it's a lonely outback mongrel job. But it's outback trucking, dramas. And I'm looking forward to getting back out in the desert.
Normally, Steve takes only his dog Bella for company.
Come on, let's go. Up again. We're on the road, girl. We're on the road. Let's go.
But on this epic journey, he's in convoy with his old mate, Si, who's no respecter of age.
Steve, I'm just going to make sure you've got your big pack.
Roger, Dodger. Righto, mate. We'll settle down and we'll give it a bit of a run for a while, eh?
Steve and Si are hauling heavy machinery to a road crew on the far edge of the Great Victoria Desert. From Perth, the convoy will trek 1,300 kilometres through Kalgoorlie to Kitchener and onto the remote Aboriginal community of Junjunjara.
Well, we're on the road to Junjunjara. 20-something years since Si and I were there last, and God, I've got some bad memories.
Back in the early 90s, Steve and Si got caught in a cyclone.
Anyway, we're committed now.
Floodwater stranding their trucks for 2 weeks.
Yeah, there's memories, and some of them make you grit your teeth.
Now, close to 3 decades later, history is threatening to repeat itself. The weather forecast is grim.
There's a cyclone hanging around waiting to come down and give us a bit of pain. And Si and I desperately want to get this load in and delivered before we get major rain out there in the desert.
With the tail end of the wet season lingering, Steve fears storms have flooded the desert road.
There's the huge rain the other day, huge rain. We just don't need water like that to have gone out where we're going, anywhere near where we're going. You just can't drive these trucks out on country like that. You haven't got a chance in hell.
It's definitely something to think about, how much rain they've had out the road. But you never know, it's trucking, isn't it?
As the trucks approach Kalgoorlie, black skies touch the horizon in every direction.
Last time the sky was like this, and there were cyclones around and thunderstorms, and we were out there for weeks, Bob. It could be a bad sign.
Outback trucker Yogi Kendall is collecting a fragile and valuable cargo.
So that's our little adventure sitting there.
3 vintage tractors and a motorbike from his home base in Western Australia.
Motorbikes are designed to be ridden, not bloody transported.
These 2 1920 Hart-Par tractors are just short of a century old. Adding to Yogi's ancient load is this 1950 Lanza Bulldog.
This one's only about 70 years old. Young one.
All 3 of these antique gems are heading to Victoria for a makeover to restore them to their former glory.
Isn't that true? Little one? How are ya? Oh, yes, very important. Love you.
Love you.
Yogi's life on the road brings long spells apart from his kids.
I regret missing the kids growing up. That plays in my mind a bit. All right, see you later. All right, I'll see you in a couple of weeks.
And his wife of 15 years, Amanda.
I feel like I don't see enough of the kids and the family, and what do you do?
This job will keep Yogi away for 2 weeks.
Try and be good.
From Katanning in Western Australia, he's facing a 3,500 kilometre slog east through South Australia to Lancefield in Victoria.
Yeah, that's Jim out, mate.
The antique tractors he's hauling are not an easy load. They've got no brakes or rubber tyres to help roll them straight onto his trailer.
Yeah, these are 100-year-old ones, these ones.
Yogi's borrowed a heavy-duty crane from a farm equipment sales yard. But only until it opens for business at 7 a.m. He needs to load quickly.
And we're burning favours by using their yard. They start at 7, I don't want to upset them. Rightio, bud, in you go. Just come down a bit.
His plan is to position the front wheels of the first tractor on the upper deck and its back wheels on the lower deck.
First plan didn't work for the day.
But with time ticking down, Yogi's having second thoughts.
It's not going to work. It's just not going to sit nicely. Plan A didn't do the job.
New Zealand's South Island. Beautiful mountains. Empty beaches. Peace, quiet and tranquility. Not today. Outback trucker and veteran bike racer Sludge is here to bring the noise.
I come over here, I've had an invitation to race the Burtman Road. They have a road race, a hill climb, a beach race. I'm here for the beach race and stuff. And I've actually never done a beach race, so it'll be quite cool.
Sludge's usual mode of transport has a lot more wheels, but is equally dangerous.
You drive a mobile bomb.
He makes a living delivering fuel to the far-flung reaches of Western Australia.
Push, dry scrap.
But for the last few weeks, he's left the outback behind. Trucking his way around New Zealand on a working holiday in his country of birth.
New Zealand's a beautiful place. I just really enjoy coming back here and doing this.
The sights may be a knockout, but the roads can knock you down.
Ooh la la. There's not a lot of room for error. A lot goes on here when you go into places. You've got to be a lot more careful than at home.
It's been a day of noisy, adrenaline-soaked R&R for Sludge.
Great day, part of paradise, 26 degrees today, folks.
We got 6 out of 12 and it's pretty good, actually.
But he's got to earn a crust while he's here.
Hello. How are you, Hoggy?
His old mate Hoggett has a swag of delivery runs lined up for sludge.
Yeah, a few days' work will be all right. Yeah, no, we'll be finished down here today and might see you tomorrow sometime.
The first is a load of dried peas, picked up in Ardlusa on the South Island and hauled 500 kilometres north to Ashburton, along some of New Zealand's most challenging mountain roads. Early the next morning, sludge loads up.
All right, we'll go and do it.
Driving an unfamiliar truck
Clutch, heavy in it.
will take a little getting used to. But he'd better get the hang of it fast. Approaching the mountains, the weather closes in.
Yeah, we're going to run into a bit of weather up here tonight by the look of it, so that might hold us up a little bit. We're going up over the Linders, so we're climbing up through the pass. Might be a bit greasy, so we'll just have to be careful.
At 971 metres above sea level, Linders Pass is the highest highway in the South Island.
You never know, going up these hills, you end up stuck. I just have to keep my wits about me and just make sure I'm bloody on the ball.
Some dangers are beyond Sludge's control. A tourist overtakes on a blind corner.
Down the fucking road, you moron.
Sludge is forced to brake and grinds to a halt.
Hey. Here, wouldn't it?
Blocking one of the South Island's main tourist routes.
Hey, you bastard. All those.
In Kalgoorlie, Western Australia, Steve Grahame's picking up 2 more trailers.
We've got 62 wheels hanging off the end of the steering wheel, 100 tonne, 53 metres long. Looks like we've got us a road train. We're ready to go outback trucking.
The convoy's also gained another truck.
See how we go.
Pat Reed is joining Steve and Si on their epic trek across the Great Victoria Desert, delivering a water tank to the remote community of Junjunjara.
That cyclone's been a big worry. It's off Karratha now. We'll cross the coast somewhere today. Within 2 days, we'll have rain out here somewhere, probably. So we will get moving to try and get in front of it. Come on.
Stay up the road, stay.
The thing with outback trucking is you don't know what's in front of you. You've got to deal with what you get. This is the end of the bitumen coming up here, I think. Well, here we go. Back on those little things we know and don't love. A few corrugations coming through here.
The road's rough, but bone dry.
So far, touch wood, it's been a lovely day at the office. Road's good so far anyway.
Yeah, unreal. It's not going to get any better.
Further up the road, ominous signs of what could lie ahead.
It's been raining here, and it's just dried out enough now for us to have access, so we certainly don't want any more water on this road.
The last time Steve and Si drove this road, close to 30 years ago, they were stranded in the mud for 2 weeks. With clouds gathering on the horizon, it could be another difficult journey.
Hey, Steve, see the little white fluffies up over in the sky over there to the left of the light?
Shit, yeah, mate. That's, that'd have to be coming off that cyclone side. Yeah, scary, scary, mate.
Just have to keep my wits about me. You never know, going up these hills, you end up stuck.
In New Zealand, sludge approaches the peak of the highest road on the South Island.
Get a fucking road, you fucking moron.
But he's forced to brake suddenly, stalling the fully loaded truck.
Oi, you bastard.
Blocking traffic on a busy tourist route.
Fucking autos.
It's a dangerous place to get stuck.
Here we go.
With a 36-ton load, the truck shudders as it pulls against the gradient.
There we go, we're out of it. Yeah, it's not really the right place to be stopping going up there. So we're through the pass, we're just heading down the other side now.
Sludge is on a tricky downhill stretch.
It's a bit windy around here.
He's got nervous tourist traffic for company. From the reckless
Never ceases to amaze you with some of these dumb shits pass.
to the painfully slow.
Christ, come on, it's 100, moron.
While the scenery is spectacular,
Beautiful country.
it's frustratingly slow.
We're running a bit shy on time. I can't be late because I've got a book in time to tip off.
Sludge has got just 30 minutes to reel in the last 30 Ks.
We ain't there yet. The fat lady hasn't sung.
With just 2 minutes to make his tip-off slot, Sludge arrives at the depot.
We're just pulling into where we're going to unload the peas now. We've made it. Less than a minute to spare now that I've backed in. You've got to have a gun operator to do a gun job.
Sludge will have to be on his A game again tomorrow. He'll face hard yakka,
Fucking heavy things, these puppies.
frustrations,
Come on, where the are you?
and a mishap could destroy his load.
Holy shit, it's gonna fucking rain.
100 kilometres east of Kalgoorlie, on the road to Junjunjara.
Looks like a bit of a slippery spot here.
Steve Grahame's heavy-duty truck convoy has run into mud.
It's been a bit more rain than what there was closer into Cal.
In the lead truck, Si's approaching the worst of it.
A little bit of slop coming up, get ready.
But makes it through. Pat's next in the water tanker. Steve is bringing up the rear. At 53 metres long, getting his 3 trailers through the mud hole is going to be tough.
Si's got 20 wheels to pull through here. I've got 62. Righto, here we go. We've got a bit of wheel spin there. She's not enjoying it. But once I get my drive through, which I have now, I'm feeling good about it.
The massive road train passes its first mud test.
I was worried about my pacemakers back there, but then I realised I was going uphill.
Are you trying to kind of say
I think
something?
that the pacemaker's doing a good job.
Oh, you're on it, mate.
Because I'm breaking the air for you, mate. Just getting sucked along by my power.
Si's engine is a little bit more modern than mine, and puts out more torque. But I would like to point out he's got tiny little wheels there that are ready to give him an awful lot of trouble. So there's a little bit of to and fro going on here. Who's going to pull who out of the bomb?
So far, so good. But news drops about an approaching cyclone, and it's all bad.
Si just flicked me back a photo of where the cyclone has come across the coast. It will break up and turn into a rain-bearing depression and drop a lot of rain. And I don't want to be underneath a lot of rain out here.
More rain means more mud.
Try to dodge this water with all your heart.
This doesn't look like much fun. You wouldn't want to be down in that hole, size right.
Already the track is falling apart.
Sorry, old truck, but you're going to take out a bit of scrub. I hope we don't get any punctures out here. I don't want to do it to you. Yeah, we're good, son. It's always good to get through a puddle, but just looking at what's in front of us, this...
Holy shit, not good.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Up ahead, Si's worst nightmare. His fully loaded truck is bogged.
It's not going to work. It's just not going to sit nicely.
Katanning, Western Australia. Yogi's attempting to load 3 antique tractors, but the cargo is longer than the trailer.
I've got to make half a metre somewhere. Plan A didn't do the job. So we'll go to Plan B. Sit him down there.
By removing the ramp, he adds a little more length to the lower deck.
Yeah, boy. The Eagle has landed. Well, the Bulldog has landed. These ones here probably longer at the back.
With time running out before he loses the borrowed crane, Yogi needs to get the last tractor loaded fast.
Yep, that'll do. Come down.
It's going to be tight, if it fits at all.
Right here, Matty. Yeah, go on. Yep. Nice one.
There's just millimetres to spare.
Absolutely wonderful. Thank you, boys. 10:40 a.m.
The first leg of the journey is no time to relax as Yogi's load of vintage collectibles settle into position.
I work to a standard, no damage. Do something wrong with these tractors, I can't replace these tractors. I've got to pay attention all the time. Can't see that bike, which is a bit of a pain. But I'm just going to pull up here and have a little bit of a look around.
On inspection, the bike's fine. But it's lucky Yogi stopped to check.
Oh yeah, we got our first casualty. That rod wasn't sitting on that chain. So that rod has come off. These big suckers here, they're never designed to be transported, that's one thing for sure. This is sacrilege on an old machine, but I ought to put a cable tie on a 1920s tractor. Rightio.
With the load settled and secure, Yogi's back on the road.
I'm actually a little bit excited that it's good. It's just sitting there very nicely, so I can settle down into the groove here and just kind of start appreciating the Ks and the days now, you know.
As the light begins to fade, Yogi completes close to 500 kilometres of the journey.
Right, that's me.
He's looking forward to a well-earned sleep when he gets an alarming text message from the vendor of the motorbike.
The money hasn't been transferred for the bike, so the bike hasn't actually been paid for by the new owner.
The new owner is covering the cost of freight. If he reneges, Yogi could be out of pocket to the tune of $500. He tries to track down the vendor for advice.
Nothing, no answer either.
I found the beach. I think I might be lost.
New Zealand's South Island. Sludge is on the coast, heading down from Ashburton.
We're about to fall off New Zealand, bro.
He's just over halfway to Gore, where he'll pick up a load of wool bales and a load of gravel before hauling both to Invercargill. A total journey of 500 kilometres.
I don't think it matters where you go in New Zealand, it's all beautiful. I probably appreciate it more now than I've ever done. Let's do it. Let's go and load this shit and get on with it. We haven't got all day. F***ing heavy things, these puppies. Not right, are they?
2 months ago, Sludge had an operation on his thumb. Shifting the 180-kilo bales by hand is slow and painful.
Yeah, we'll have to send Hoggy the bill for me thumb. Look at it. Doesn't work anymore.
He doesn't get much sympathy from the Southland farmer whose wool he's hauling.
This is hard work, this stuff. You bale them too heavy.
They're not heavy enough.
They're not heavy enough?
Well, he's got it too cruisy, I reckon.
I have got it bloody cruisy.
Yeah, you should be out doing hay or something. It's all good for you.
That's why you're young and fit, you see.
Yeah. Where'd you pick this fella up from?
Sludge's next pickup is much more his style. A full trailer of gravel, with the backhoe loader doing all the work.
Loaded up, ready to go.
Loading up took longer than expected.
We're probably about half hour behind time at the moment. Well, slip down here and get rid of the gravel. Hopefully that'll be a quick one and we'll catch up a bit of time there.
But at the gravel yard...
Time's ticking, time's money.
And then the wool shed.
Come on, where the f*** are you?
The staff aren't in a rush to help him unload.
Nothing in New Zealand happens in a hurry.
By the time he's delivered the gravel and the wool, Sludge has dropped even more time. And he still has one more load of fertiliser to pick up and deliver.
So the supermarket closes at 3:30. It's just turned 3 o'clock now and we're probably a good 25 minutes away.
If the fertiliser plant closes before he arrives, he'll have to wait until tomorrow to load up.
You don't want to be stuck down here overnight because the truck's got another load to do tomorrow.
The rest of his working week is in danger of falling apart, but Sludge is confident he can still make it.
We'll get there. We'll push on. Hopefully we won't be too late.
But just as he gets up ahead of steam...
You've got to be shitting me. F***ing roadworks.
It's gridlock.
Now we are starting to run out of time. Come on, you bastards.
In Esperance, Western Australia, Yogi's on a long-haul trip to Victoria.
You can't ever relax in this job.
He's cranky after discovering the new owner of the motorbike he's freighting has failed to pay for it.
If the bike's not paid for and old mate can't come up with the money in Melbourne, well, it has to go back to WA.
For Yogi, no delivery means no paycheck for his family.
Not my problem, but it's become my problem.
With the pressures of the trucking life piling on, the loneliness of the road begins to get to Yogi.
2 weeks away from the kids and the family. I feel like I don't see enough of them. I see myself getting out of trucks. Yeah, you could give it all up in a heartbeat. Love you.
I love you.
Two days on the road, and 2,700 kilometres later, Yogi crosses the state line into Victoria.
Coming to civilisation means we've got towns and people and authorities. You got to pay just a little bit more attention.
Soon the open road gives way to urban sprawl. Yogi's least favourite part of the drive.
Could you get any quicker on the lights? Welcome to Victoria. Oh, traffic is just brutal. Come on, 1 for 1. That's how we get the job done.
And it's not just the other drivers who grind his gears.
Bloody, like I'm all for, right, the bike riders, right? I've got to give them a metre. Yet, when I'm sitting in traffic, they come up a metre under me. That annoys me.
Eventually, Yogi clears the traffic and starts eating up the final Ks to the drop-off.
We're off. Back out on the open road. Everything is going nicely. Yeah, you normally jinx yourself when you say everything's going really well.
While Yogi waits to hear about the fate of the motorbike, he's ready to unload the vintage tractors, still fully intact after the long drive.
And we're about to unload. Back it in there.
The tractors are heavy, awkward,
Just don't let them roll over once you go over that.
and irreplaceable.
Just come him up a bit. Yeah. Whoa.
One slip up here and all Yogi's care on the road will be for nothing.
Whoa.
In the Western Australian outback, Steve Grahame's convoy is in trouble. His old friend Si is stuck in the mud.
This doesn't look like much fun.
We'll get there, mate, eventually, I think, I hope.
Up ahead, ominous storm clouds gather from a rapidly approaching tropical cyclone.
That cyclone Veronica is looking really intense. I've got my eye on it. Could be difficult times here.
As Steve predicted, the small wheels on Si's trailer have come to grief in the mud. Si's call for help is answered by Al Marks, a contractor who's also headed to Junjunjara.
It's going to be fun all the way. What do you want to come and play with us for? You should have gone to town with the others, mate.
I could have been on the piece now.
Go forward a bit, bro.
All right, I'll go for it, mate. Come back a bit, El.
Yeah, not seem to be moving at all, hey?
Nah, I don't want to dig a hole here.
It wasn't as easy as what they thought. But then again, I've been 40-something years outback trucking. It's never been as easy as what I thought.
Steve switches to plan B.
All right, we're going to attempt to reverse out of this slight bog hole.
This time they've chained Si's truck to Pat's tanker. The extra muscle soon has Si back on dry ground.
Well, that went very easy.
One problem solved, but the convoy's still on the wrong side of the mud. The Brains Trust needs a new plan of attack.
We're going to try and run me through first because I'll put the deepest ruts in it. I'm the heaviest, but also because if I do it right, my back trailers will still be pushing me when I'm on the slippery stuff.
It's risky. Get it wrong, and Steve's road train will be a 100-ton roadblock.
Hey, here we go, we're into it.
Watch those cleats on that trailer there. Yeah.
In Lancefield, Victoria, Yogi's struggling to unload 3 antique tractors.
Whoa. Whoa. Good job, boys. Yeah, come off really well. I reckon that was the heaviest. Just takes that bounce out of it. Just watch that swing. He's off.
Yeah, one more of them, we're off.
Just the small one to go.
This will be the easiest.
There you go.
It's a win on the tractors.
Jeez, and it's all over as easy as that.
Just as Yogi is leaving, he gets a text from the vendor of the motorbike.
Payment received in my account. Oh. That means the bike is good to deliver. Well, there's one little battle I don't have to fight.
It's a result that means the long trip has been financially fruitful.
We made it.
The next day, Yogi's back on the road.
Happy days, happy days.
He's missing his family, but he can't head home just yet. Yogi's been asked to present a Trucking Legends Award at the Haywood Truck and Ute Show.
Feel really good about being here and, you know, being part of this show.
And he's got a speech to memorise.
It's like homework, you leave it till the last minute. You know, these people are legends of the industry, and I don't want to balls it up. I've got to have the right words coming out my head. Oh, hello. Hi. Oh, loud. Hi. Lovely day for it. Country shows are great. It's really, really mad.
Yogi leaves the sanctuary of his truck and nervously takes to the podium.
The industry, you do a lot, you spend a lot of time away and you make a lot of sacrifices and a lot goes unsung. We just do it because we love the job.
His heartfelt words go down well with the crowd.
Good job, mate, well done. The emotions in the room are pretty full on, it's great. Thank you. Every day of the road, you're treated like an object. Today you go down the road and you're treated like a bit of a bloody legend. Hey, how you going? What's going on? Well, people recognise who you are and they recognise what you've done. So we got everybody? Squeeze in, squeeze in, squeeze in. And it is an emotional job, you know. It's a tough gig.
On days like this, trucking doesn't feel like such a lonely job.
Oh.
Gates aren't shut, so here's hoping they're going to bloody let us in.
On New Zealand's South Island, sludge has just made it to the fertiliser plant.
Looks like there's one here in front of us. Fingers crossed.
If he's too late to load up, he'll have to come back tomorrow, wrecking his busy delivery schedule.
Oh, I'm a bit tired. I'm meant to be on holiday, not killing myself driving a truck again.
Just as his working holiday threatens to be more work than holiday, Sludge is finally in luck with his last pickup of the day.
Yep, we're going to slip in and load, so wheeling in here so we can get the hell out of here.
Loaded up with 30 tonnes of fertiliser.
We're away now, we're going to get the hell out of here.
Sludge is back in business.
Should be a good run home, hopefully. We've got a bit of back roads and not too much traffic.
It'll take Sludge an hour and a half to get back to home base, dropping off the fertiliser on the way. With just 2 hours left before he's over his legal maximum working hours, time is still of the essence.
If you're over your logbook by 5 minutes, it's bloody $200 or $300 fine and that for that sort of stuff, so it's important not to run out of time.
A few kilometres into the journey...
Ah, shit.
Sludge clocks a problem.
Bloody tarps come loose.
Fixing the tarpaulin is a delay he can do without. But the weather up ahead forces his hand.
Holy shit, it's gonna f***ing rain.
If the fertiliser gets wet, it'll turn into 30 tonnes of useless mush.
I don't know what it's worth, but if it gets wet, it's probably worth more than what I've bloody made out of this trip, so... Freaking annoys me having to stop for shit like this. The wind must have got under it and bloody pulled them up.
The fertiliser is safe. But as he approaches the drop-off, Sludge is in danger of running out of time.
We've got about half an hour up our sleeve, so we wouldn't want any more bloody hold-ups. No rain yet? Here's hoping.
If those black clouds turn into rain, it could destroy his load of fertiliser.
That's it. We've finally got it off. I want to get home and bloody knock off.
Sludge is almost back on holiday.
We go to the pub for a beer.
He's got 10 minutes left to make the 10-minute drive back to home base.
Piece of piss. Nothing to an experienced driver like me.
Here we go, we're into it.
On the track to Chunchunjara, Steve Grahame's axle deep in mud.
Trailer's pushing me nicely. I'm hardly accelerating. Those trailers are doing a wonderful job. Right, mate, I'll watch you in my mirror.
Si follows in Steve's tracks. It's second time lucky for Si's low loader.
No worries, mate, you good, eh?
Yeah, mate, all good.
This looks worse than the last one. The road's certainly not good. I said we'd be in there by tomorrow afternoon. It might be the following afternoon. This is going to be a steady operation.
If the equipment the trucks are carrying arrives late, it'll prevent a whole road crew from working.
It'll be what it'll be, but by Jesus, we don't want any rain tonight.
Mud is not the only obstacle between Steve's convoy and the community of Chunchunjara. The three trucks have been travelling alongside the Trans-Australian Railway, and now they have to cross it.
Oh, well, this is it. This is going to be fun getting over this railway line.
The crossing has a steep approach and exit.
But it's steep, so we've got to be really careful and make sure we don't hang up on there and stuff the bloody Transcontinental Railway line.
If Si's truck with its low-slung trailer bottoms out, it could cut the only rail link between east and west, causing major disruption.
If we scrape, we're going to have to basically skull drag them off the line and shut the bloody railway line.
Si begins to inch his way over. But just as he's nosing onto the crossing,
I think there might be a train coming.
in Western Australia, Yogi's on his way to load up his truck PJ for an interstate run he's dreading.
Yeah, I don't know whether I like a challenge or I'm just plain stupid at the moment, so...
He's at war with Transport Police in South Australia over a fine for a logbook infringement.
Hell, I got a court summons. Yeah, I'm a criminal. Look at me. I don't know how I'm still surviving. I really don't know how I'm functioning in the society that I live in. I am a criminal.
He's fighting the summons, and he's worried that makes him a marked man when he crosses the border.
It'll make me nervous going into South Australia. I tell you, I'll be like a mangy dog hiding behind a shady tree, you know.
Especially with an unusual load that could easily attract attention.
Righty-ho, mate. What are we looking at, Phil? Tractor?
Super 90, yeah.
Oh, Super 90. No worries. Yeah, righto. Yeah, nice. We'll drive him on. There you go, Phil.
The vintage tractor is the first piece of a load Yogi will take from his home base in southwestern Australia, 3,500 kilometres across the Nullarbor, through South Australia and into Victoria.
Beautiful, mate.
Next pickup, a camper trailer.
Chase it round, straighten up, yep.
More wheels to be strapped down tightly for the 3-day trip.
Piece of cake. Constantly on it, constantly pushing, constantly going to go hard. Trying to do me 1,000 k's a day, just trying to push and push and push.
The last pickup is a piece of harvesting equipment.
But it's the most important one, so it's the one I can't not get on.
With a border inspection on the cards, Yogi needs everything to be safe and legal.
Yeah, well, he's told me it's 5 metres, so it needs to be right on 5 metres, you know. If it's a fraction over 5 metres, we'll get it on, but it's all about the mills.
Farm machinery travelling interstate requires a quarantine inspection to check for disease and pests.
There's a snail problem at the moment, so it's got to be cleaned. So I've got tomorrow morning I've got to book in with the Ag Department in Esperance to visually inspect the machine, and then they'll sign off it and give it an Ag importer's certificate, and then we can take that with us going into Victoria. So I'm not too sure where that's going to go. I'm hoping it's clean. I'm hoping the machine's all right. Yeah, apparently our West Australian snails are just not good enough for Victoria. Like, they get kicked out. Ah, yeah, there it is. That's our little green baby there. Let's get this little sucker on and get home.
For Yogi, size matters. If it's not legal on the back, his trip's in trouble.
He won't be clean and easy. That's one thing for sure.
And on first sight, things don't look promising.
Bit of an ugly one, this one.
The tropical top end of Australia. Exotic, remote, hot, wet, and dangerous. 1,000 kilometres from Darwin, on the edge of the Gulf of Carpentaria, is the mining outpost of Nhulunbuy. Hard to reach at the best of times. Impossible to get to when the summer rains hit. It's a place only a few trucking companies are brave enough to go to.
When Malcolm gets here, he can sign that.
Jocelyn Dunning's Nighthawk Transport is one of them.
It's starting to rain, so they've put a limit on the road.
Jocelyn owns the company and makes all the decisions about who goes where and when.
Could you call me back, please, regarding the Central Arnhem Road?
She's scrambling to get permission to send her triple road train to the remote communities.
In regards to the road conditions.
The only road in has 700 kilometres of dirt. It's damaged and there are weight restrictions.
We were wondering whether we'd be able to apply for consent to run 2 in.
Without permission, the trip's off.
They're not going to be heavy.
If the rain starts, it could be off for 6 months.
Hi, Vicky, it's Joss from Nighthawk Transport. I was wondering if Phil Harris was available, please.
Jocelyn needs to get an answer soon, or risk letting down loyal and valuable customers.
Can't get hold of anybody.
Out in the yard, it's full steam ahead.
That's 9s across, mate.
Jocelyn's son Lloyd will be the driver.
Yeah.
He's fresh back from an encounter with a 3-kilo bush turkey.
Bush turkey just decided to jump out of the trees there and just about come through the windscreen, eh?
There's around 50 tonnes of supplies booked on his triple road train, including a fishing boat.
It'll be a totally different colour by the time it gets there. Be a nice shade of red, I reckon, eh?
While Lloyd's almost ready to go, back in the office, Jocelyn's still getting nowhere.
Hopefully somebody will ring me back or I'll try them again shortly and we can get some answers. We are cutting it fine. We'll fill this out anyway.
Another concern is the weather. There have been heavy showers along the red dirt road, and the sky is turning ugly. Worst case scenario, Jocelyn gets her truck in and can't get it out for 6 months. Steve Grahame, a man who loves the highway, the open spaces, the freedom of the job. But not today.
This yard's getting tighter and tighter.
Sweating it out in the heat, wind and dust.
Love the dust, love the wind. great day for it. Roscoe just said to me then, he sort of doesn't mind.
He and his longtime driving mate Slick are in Alice Springs, in the middle of a logistical nightmare that's threatening to cost Steve a lot of money.
So I'm guessing we aim at basically loading all 3 trailers together.
Steve's a truck down. A few days ago, while Slick was driving, the engine blew up.
The top 3.
It's costing $50,000 to get it fixed.
Doesn't matter.
And get the load sent on to Darwin.
I'm making no money out of all of this. What I'm doing is keeping faith with my customers and delivering the freight. The unfortunate fact in the middle of it all is this blowing up truck.
Getting the loading right is essential. Steve needs to concentrate, but the depot's right next to the town's airport. And adding to his pain, stitches from a recent operation to remove skin cancers from his face.
I got an appointment at 1:45 to get these out. They're driving me insane and I can't wear my hat.
It's one irritation after another.
I suppose if it wasn't the wind and the dust, it would be the mud and the rain, really, wouldn't it?
He's taking building supplies and machinery 1,300 kilometres from the heat of the desert to the tropical northeast settlement of Robinson River.
There's fires all round. There's fires, there's dust, we really and truly could use some rain.
And there's another complication.
I don't even know, really, which road I'm taking.
He's only ever been there once, years ago.
You got a spare pair of glasses? Haven't heard about the road yet. I have heard it takes 7 hours to do the last 50 kilometres, so there might be some good news.
After a quick trip to the doctors.
Thank you, mate. Much appreciated.
No worries.
Steve and his new companion, Bella, are ready to head off.
There is no doubt about that. The little Bella from the suburbs is now a fully fledged truck dog. This is going to be interesting, not the start, but the finish. I've got 167 kilometres of real mongrel dirt apparently at the end going into Robinson River. And the words of the local up there is, you take the stuff out there, we're not taking our trucks on that road.
In Western Australia, Yogi's sweating on this farm equipment fitting on his trailer.
Might go up and might not.
Yep. Looking pretty good. Yeah. Righto. That'll do.
He's heading interstate.
It actually fits on nice.
And doesn't want anything on board that could catch the attention of transport inspectors.
It's all good. The freight is on. I'm very relieved, man. It's a nice little sigh of, yeah, we've done this.
Yogi's fully loaded, but he's still not clear to start his 3,500 kilometre trip.
Yeah, it's been a battle though today. I'm hours behind.
He needs this farm machinery checked by quarantine officials before it can go interstate.
Got to get it inspected for maybe cleaning. Yeah, it's got a potential definitely to hold us up. It could be 15 minutes. If they go, nah, you're good to go. Or it could be 5 hours. It could be 6 hours. It could be overnight. I can control most things that I do, right? This is one thing that I cannot control. So this will dictate the rest of the trip.
But this trip is not just about work.
So I'm going to my mum's and dad's place.
Yogi's parents live in Melbourne and his dad's in hospital.
As much time as I can have with Dad at the moment is good.
Christmas is a few days away.
Dad will come out of hospital for Christmas lunch, all my family will be there. But he's not looking too good, so this is a really important Christmas, this one.
The quarantine inspection's a 5-hour drive away, if the wet and traffic don't hold him up.
A little bit more traffic than usual. Being fairly close to Christmas, everybody's going away. If they're going to go, they're going to go now.
The caravanners are in holiday mode.
Oh.
Yogi isn't.
I'm doing about 80. Yeah, 85, 90. They must be travelling together. They're fairly close, so yeah, we'll get up on the straight here and whip around them.
Overtaking one at a time, Yogi's on the wrong side of the road for longer than he wants to be. It could take up to 1 kilometre to pass at this speed. One down.
I think he's backing off.
One to go.
Oh, need the full lane, I reckon. full K or two. Yeah, we got around safely and everybody's happy.
Yogi's back to full cruising speed, 100 kilometres per hour. But over a hilltop,
oh, Jesus,
a combine harvester. In Darwin, Jocelyn Dunning is trying to get permission to do a supply run to a remote community 1,000 kilometres away.
So it's just general freight. There's nothing major on it.
How many have we got all up, James?
A 200-kilometre stretch of the dirt road is in a bad way, and weight and axle restrictions have been enforced. After a day on the phone, at last some good news.
That'd be awesome.
She has permission to run 2 trailers. Problem is, the road train is 3 trailers.
I didn't mention to him that we had the 3rd trailer.
Jocelyn can't risk breaking the permit conditions, but she can work around them.
We will have to leave a trailer and dolly at Bullman and come back for that one.
Splitting the road train up, so no more than 2 trailers go on the damaged section at one time. For son Lloyd, it'll mean several dog runs back and forth.
Close on 500 Ks this trip.
It also means trailers with thousands of dollars worth of goods are left by the side of the road unattended.
There was somebody running out there a few years back that tipped a trailer over and the driver just abandoned it and everybody just went and helped themselves. So, yeah, the last thing we need is any of that sort of thing going on.
Just got to hook them all together now and quick shower, get a bit of mud off me and get on our way. Haven't been home for the last week. My partner's done me washing today, and she'll come that in and bring my little girl in and, yeah, say goodbye for another week, eh? Daddy's got to go in the truck, okay? It's the hardest part of the week, eh, I tell you. Right? Hop in the car now. Daddy's got to go, okay? It's all right. I'll see you later, okay?
For Lloyd, this is easily the hardest part of a tough job.
Been away all week already and then got home at 10 o'clock last night, she's already asleep, so I'm gone before she's up this morning, so it's, yeah, 10 minutes with her for 2 weeks, it's real hard.
First day, and it's a grueling 10-hour stint alone behind the wheel. There have been early signs that the wet season may be on its way.
Yeah, during the night we got a bit of rain there in Catherine, and well, the sounds of it, it's sort of come from over east, sort of the way we're heading, so the start of the road could be a little bit damp, make things interesting. With those few clouds around, it looks like got a bit of rain. It's amazing how fast it can move.
Lloyd's seeing all the warnings of a run that could turn nasty.
If it's a big enough sort of a shower, it can turn the road backwards really quick. Yeah, pretty black clouds over there.
In the dusty desert heat of Alice Springs, it's been a frustrating day for Steve.
It's good to be out of the yard.
But he's finally where he wants to be, behind the wheel.
Excruciating is a good word. A lot of stress there the last couple of days.
Starting a 1,300-kilometre journey with 3 fully loaded trailers, heading to a remote site he's been to only once.
There's a fair bit of pressure on at the minute, but... So this is going to be an interesting trip. It's new country for me, and I'm not sure which way I'm going yet, but everything can only improve from the last couple of days.
Ahead of him are 500 kilometres of sealed road before it gets rough. But even on the blacktop, he can't relax.
You're driving along a bitumen road, but it only takes one camel to ruin your day. It's the end of the tourist season, people are tired, and you always got to be a little bit careful when you're leaving a place like Alice Springs. It's a destination for a lot of people, and they've come 1,000 kilometres to get there, so they're a bit worn out at the end of their trip. It'll be very easy to over-relax on a nice road like this. Oh, like this bloke. That truck, he just saw the road train coming and his trailer dropped off. And, he nearly lost it then. Just get something like that and you could be wearing a dozen horses in the back of a horse float.
Outside, it's over 40 degrees. The nearest town is more than 100 kilometres away. The last place you'd expect to see a cyclist. And the timing couldn't be worse.
I think it's uncanny that you can have this great lonely road all to yourself for so long, and then you get one push bike rider, and that's when you've got an oncoming car.
Steve needs to go around. But if he passes too close, he risks blowing the cyclist off his bike.
Now I've got to move out here and hope like hell that this southbound vehicle understands what I'm doing.
At 100 kilometres an hour, Yogi's had to hit the brakes.
Not like slowing you back down to 40 and coming off 100.
For a slow-moving combine harvester.
Yeah, couldn't see him round the corner. Flick everything on Jake's, foot pedal, brakes, the whole lot, you know.
Been this little bossy, mate.
Hey, good job, mate. Thanks, bud. Thank you, thank you. You never relax on country roads because you never know what's going to be around the corner. So all the scenarios start going through your head, like, can I get around in that time? We're coming up to a bridge, we're going down a hill, and shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. So all these decisions happen in about 3 seconds. Yeah, she's pulled her up, went from 95 to 40 in about 2 seconds, so big girl done all right. But she done okay. It was a good job.
Yogi's next stop is a big one.
I'm getting nervous about this now. I'm nervous.
The quarantine check.
What could go wrong? What could go wrong?
It could be a 15-minute stop, or it could bring the whole trip undone.
The moment of truth. The defining moment in my east-west run before Christmas. Will we make it out of Esperance?
How are we?
All right, David.
Yogi's hoping for a quick once-over.
It's all going east.
Yeah, it's all going east, yeah.
But he gets an inspector with a torch.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure whether it's snails or soil and plant.
Soils and plant.
Okay. Yep. A little bit of straw in there, yep, for sure, bud, for sure.
Next, they're ordering Yogi's trailer into the cleaning bay.
Yep, no worries at all, Dave.
We'll come back and have a look for you.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Champion. Good on you, mate. We'll see you a bit later on. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought. There's a little bit of plant material underneath on the cutter bar and a few other bits and pieces, so it's got to be clean. So, yeah, we'll go and see the boys back on the wash pad and make it happen.
This inspection's not going well.
There's some chaff in the drum, so just got to blow the drum out. So, yeah. Be just...
Next delay. They want the machine removed from the back of Yogi's truck.
Just going to take the front off the trailer. Just put it on the wash pad. They can get around it then and it's easy. Yeah, it's another hour. Yeah, it's all good, you know. Yeah, bugger me. That's pretty bad, isn't it? That's the problem. It's just full of straw in the middle of it. So that's a pretty good find by these boys to pick that up.
And now, more scrutiny. More time lost. But worse, the inspector has another issue. The vintage tractor is in his sights.
Yeah, tractor's going not to Victoria, so all good.
Doesn't matter. Where's it going to?
Queensland.
Queensland.
No, they can have done it. Right, let's go on. Well,
it's going to Queensland, but do Victoria's regulations apply?
It's a vintage tractor anyway. It's going to be restored. Transport of contaminated things, vehicle movement. No, I'll give it to the bloke that owns it. Not my responsibility, he owns it, eh?
Eventually, he gets the all clear.
Right, mate, that's it. Thanks, Dave. Have a good Chrissy, mate. Good on you. Thanks, mate. See you later. Right, we got the certificate. Stamp at the bottom. We're good to go.
At last, Yogi's heading east.
Right, let's go back to work.
Ahead, a 1,000-kilometre trek to the South Australian border. Then the part of the journey he's dreading. Heading into
enemy territory.
Yogi believes his logbook dispute with Transport Police there will make him a marked man.
Yeah, feel a bit of pressure arising. you just feel the nerves starting to build, you know.
In the top end of the Northern Territory, the highway Lloyd is on has deteriorated into a thin strip of bitumen with room for just one truck.
Come across another truck, you sort of try and share the bitumen together and get a wheel onto the dirt each, you know.
Meet an oncoming road train at speed, and both drivers will need to be on their A game.
Here it comes. He's going for it too.
What little bitumen there is about to end.
We're down to about 20k already, so could make for a long day out there on the dirt.
He's deep into wild country now, with roaming water buffalo and feral donkeys with no road sense.
Another one just over here. There was one morning we were poking along the track out here and it was still in the dark. About 3 or 4 of them decided they just wanted to run out in front of me, and I thought it was quite funny at first until got about 4.5 k's down the road and they just wouldn't let me get around them.
Late afternoon and the rain hits.
You just have to be right on your game all the time, and get pretty slippery, if you get a lot of rain in a short amount of time.
Lloyd starts to worry about the worst case scenario.
If the weather really goes backwards in the next couple of days, we could have lots of fun getting out of here. They could even possibly close the road, put an 8-tonne limit on it, which means we can't travel on the road at all.
Heavy rain, and now nightfall.
We're going to be bloody lucky to get back out of here.
Lloyd's reached the restricted zone. Here, he'll break up his road train.
Just going to find a nice hard spot to drop me back 2 trailers.
It's a lonely job.
Yeah, it's starting to get a little bit damp out here. Everything's covered in a bit of mud.
Hitching and unhitching trailers solo in the dark.
Nice bit of rain to cool it down a little bit.
It's cooler, but more dangerous.
Last little bit of rain, probably almost 24 hours ago, maybe not quite, which dried out a fair bit during the day here, but now we're going through a fair bit of rain now. There's a lot of water sitting on the road.
He's in the centre of a tropical storm.
The road's sort of deteriorated a little bit.
Visibility is drastically cut. The road is hazardous.
Just making it quite nice and slippery.
Lloyd has a punishing night ahead.
100% concentration at the moment, just stay in the middle of the road best I can, stay away from the table drains. A few corrugations and patches. It won't take much, just one wrong little move. We could end up bogged.
On an outback highway, a lone cyclist has forced Steve onto the wrong side of the road.
Now I've got to move out here and hope like hell that this southbound vehicle understands what I'm doing. We have that little bit of a traffic jam and then the road goes back to empty.
And Steve wasn't the only one giving this tourist a wide berth.
It's a good thing that the bloke's wearing an orange vest, you know, because it gives everyone plenty of vision, plenty of idea of what's going on. My luck, someone will come along and say, hey, what do you think you're doing?
At his next stop, finding a legal park when you're more than 50 metres long can be difficult. Here, he'll drop a trailer.
So here's the story with road trains. If you want to unload one, you've got to split a couple off, so that's life.
And then head northeast, 800 kilometres, to the Robinson River settlement hidden in the wilderness.
Robinson River is way out nowhere.
Last-minute orders are being squeezed on.
What's in there?
Tin food.
Got enough of it. It's better for them to stop us now, and we put this time in now, so they've got everything when it gets there. I would like to think that from this point onwards, we're going to Robinson River. As I said earlier, the stuff's got to go there. You get one crack at getting to a really remote place. So if you're in remote area trucking, that's part of the deal.
Next stop, Robinson River. This blacktop will soon be gone,
It just keeps throwing up something different every time.
replaced by a nightmare dirt track leading into the settlement. Here's where the road gets narrow and needs to be shared.
You know, there's skinny bitumen roads and there's a lot of dirt. And the best thing that the little guys can do is drop off the bitumen. Because if I've got to drop off as well, they're going to get a whole heap of rocks. 62 wheel loads of rocks thrown at their windscreen.
In Western Australia, Yogi's about to hit a notorious stretch of road.
We are starting the Nullarbor.
Nearly 1,000 kilometres of the Nullarbor Desert Plain to cross before he gets to the border of South Australia.
You just feel the nerves starting to build, you know.
Plenty of time to think about the law and the logbook fine he copped there.
I'm either really, really adventurous or I'm a complete and utter fool, but anyway, I'm fighting it. If you don't stand up for what you believe in, you'll just get stood on. I've had a gutful, to be honest with you. I'm sick of being treated like a criminal in this industry, like a mangy dog.
Heading back, Yogi can't help but worry he may be a target.
I'm concerned about the authorities. I'm concerned about South Australia. I'm concerned about going back over the border. They'll roar at me pretty hard, I reckon.
Close to the South Australian border,
we're about to go into Battle Zone 1.
Yogi's anxiety starts to rise.
We're nearly going into enemy territory, South Australia. Time for battle suits, armour, choose your weapons. You're on edge now, like you're on edge. We become watched straight under the camera, so my rego's already been recorded.
For any trucker, driving across state lines can be a nightmare of bureaucracy and paperwork.
You're already a target. As soon as you go under a safety camera, you're already a target. Rightio, there's your cameras.
States and territories have different laws.
Righto, now record times. Yeah, look at the time.
Making following the rules confusing.
It annoys the absolute crap out of me. This particular thing actually belongs out there on the road. It'd be nice to actually run over it a couple of times.
A driver must keep a diary and a logbook. Make the slightest mistake and they can be punished with hefty fines.
Yeah, well, everybody stops here and fills it in because this is where they insert pineapples in South Australia. They don't insert pineapples over there in WA. They insert them over here in South Australia. Most times they put them in sideways here in South Australia.
On his last trip to South Australia, Yogi made a 4-minute error in his logbook and was hit with a fine. A black mark on his driving record.
Every minute now I've got to be on the game and I've got to be constantly doing minute checks and time checks and all that. It's just another crap thing we have to deal with for no reason at all.
He's challenging the fine, but another ticket now would crush him.
If we take it to court and we fight this fine and we lose, it wipes me out. I'll sell the truck and trailer, pay off what debts I got and walk away.
On the dirt road to Nullarbor, Lloyd's been battling heavy rain for most of the night.
100% concentration at the moment.
A full-on electrical storm.
Bit of lightning around and you've just got to be on your game all the time. The top's pretty slippery at the moment.
Weight restrictions have forced him to uncouple 2 of his trailers, splitting up his road train. It's turned out to be a blessing.
It would have been very interesting if we were towing all 3 through here, just with the water on the road and made it all nice and soft and slippery.
It's more than 200 kilometres of slippery, wet dirt road before Lloyd gets through the weight-restricted section.
Just going to drop our lead trailer and dolly.
It's taken 6 hours of night drive slog to get to this point.
It's got a couple of blocks of wood out, dropping it on the dirt, so just to make sure it doesn't sink.
Now, Lloyd has to turn around and do it all again.
Head back bobtail and head back and grab the other 2 trailers.
200 kilometres there and 200 back. Twice. To make matters worse, the road's so bad he's reduced to a 20-kilometre-an-hour crawl.
Got back to the second lot of trailers, the double. It's 11 o'clock on Saturday night. Back onto these two, pulled up a bit of air and wander around, check the straps and tyres and everything before we poke off and head back towards where our single trailer is.
After an exhausting run, Lloyd's ready for some rest.
Coming up behind the single trailer we dropped off earlier. Just sort of well up behind it here and time for a bit of a camp, I think. It's been a pretty long day today.
But before he turns in, there's one last thing he wants to do.
Just give them a quick FaceTime.
A quick chat to his partner Renee and daughter Kiara.
Hi. I'll see you in a couple of days, all right? When Daddy gets home? Well, I'm just about to head out, so talk to you tomorrow night when I get out back into reception. I love you. She's sort of, the last couple of months, just sort of got used to me not being there a lot of the time, and she finds it hard to get used to me not being there and sort of almost forgetting she doesn't have a dad.
The next morning, it's Sunday breakfast in the wilderness.
It's nothing too flash, but gotta eat something out here, right?
Lloyd has another full day of driving ahead and another section where he'll have to break up his road train.
A little bit more of the dog running.
Ferrying the trailers back and forth to not break the weight restrictions.
Take two through and for about 100 k's and then come back for a single, which will cost us a bit of time in the long run, but it's what we've got to do.
The road is muddy and slippery.
There's a lot of water sitting on the road, and I think they've had a fair bit of rain in the last couple of hours by the looks. So, yeah, it's a little bit boggy, sort of struggling for traction in places, but we're still moving forward.
What he doesn't want is more of this. Steve Grahame's having to share a thin strip of bitumen with oncoming traffic.
If I've got to drop off as well, they're going to get a whole heap of rocks. Fairly often you get drivers that are new to this sort of country who feel that, you know, they've got a right to half the bitumen, which they certainly have. Then they discover by claiming that right, by sticking to their guns, that they've got a windscreen full of rocks.
Where Steve's going, there's no mobile coverage. This is his last chance to check voicemail messages.
My phone had about 40 messages on it, and we've got a change of plans and a change of destination.
The client isn't ready yet for delivery at Robinson River.
It must be very frustrating for them, but it's also very frustrating for me. I've just about had enough for today.
He'll have to unload in a town he's unfamiliar with.
It's not going to be much fun unloading this lot by myself. I might get lucky, there might be someone there that'll lend me a hand, but pulling those food boxes and toolboxes off, things like that's going to be a bloody nuisance.
It's a complication that could add hours to his turnaround, and time is money.
There's always a little bit of stress going into a place that you don't know anything about with a road train. It just takes a bit of time doing it yourself. It's all the racking and stacking. That's the business. Righto, there's a sign. We turn right there. This is where he said. There's some trucks. It looks like the right spot.
At Borroloola, Steve arrives at the drop-off. To unload, he'll need help.
Yes, I can see dog holes and dog shit everywhere. It could be dangerous for you, belly. This is not going to be much fun.
It looks grim. Until help arrives.
All right, push it all onto yours, Richard.
With a forklift.
And I've got to do the right thing and do this as quickly as possible because I'm in his yard. You've got to get it happening and get out of their way.
Steve has a new best friend.
If I can get you to fork off those boxes.
Yep.
Beautiful, Trev. Having Shaka here in a forklift is a big saver. I thought this was going to be a nightmare. Brilliant. Oh, gee, it's a good thing having this bloke here. I thought this was going to be a real battle. It's getting easier by the minute. It's really good. Shacker's a good man. I'm glad he's here. This is saving me a lot of time. And better still, it's saving me a lot of sweat. Just put it straight on the back too. Fingers crossed this thing starts. Those flat batteries could have been a big drama. Without me mate here, we would have been in big trouble.
After 4 exhausting days behind the wheel, Lloyd's on the last leg of his epic supply run from Darwin to Nhulunbuy.
Keep your eyes on the road and just make sure you're sticking as close to the middle as you can and watching all the holes. Yeah, it's a little bit foggy, sort of struggling for traction in places.
The load is taking a pounding, which means he's having to make regular stops to check everything is secure.
Everything seems to be all right, yeah. Nothing's really moved, so everything seems to be travelling bloody good this week.
At the back is the brand new boat that was loaded in Darwin.
It's got a new colour to it, yeah. Nice red tinge, otherwise it's travelling bloody good.
Soon after dark, the first signs of civilization.
Yep, just rolled onto the bitumen.
The moment Lloyd savours every time he does this run.
Yeah, it's a pretty good feeling. All the freight's still in pretty good nick. Good to finally be here.
Next day in Nhulunbuy, Lloyd has the unload to supervise.
Oh, just all the mud and the dirt on it and everything. Makes it a bit heavier. Beautiful. Yeah, no, you're right, Tommy. You got them. We got to put it all on, and then it's good someone else having to take it all off.
And finally, delivery of that fishing boat that left Darwin all shiny and new. Now a very different colour.
Yeah, mate.
When I first arrived here and I turned around the corner, I saw this dirty boat and I go, geez, that bloke's not going to be happy with that. Whoever's boat's at home, just realised it's mine. And luckily enough, there's just a bit of bull dust on it. So.
After unloading the fishing boat, Lloyd has to pick up freight for the return journey. It's dark before he's ready to set off on the 1,000-kilometre run back to Darwin. Another 3 days' drive to get home. But when he gets there, the best welcome he could wish for.
How was school today? Good. Want to have a look at Daddy's truck?
Kiara might just be our littlest Outback Trucker yet. Yogi has crossed into South Australia, where the Nullarbor runs into the sea.
This is nice. You can see a little bit of the water here.
But he's getting ever closer to a possible showdown with the authorities.
Why am I sweating?
This is where he ran into trouble on his last trip. Other truckies are warning Transport Police are on the hunt.
Just doing a Captain Cook, mate. Yeah, just checking your book as you go, mate. So, yeah. Make sure you're up to spec, brother.
Oh, yeah. Otherwise, it'll be another $120,000 for a 4-minute infringement.
Yeah, mate, they're running muck, so check it as you go. And Merry Christmas and be safe, buddy.
Right, mate. Champion, eh? See ya. Well, it seems like our friends are out there checking logbooks. I am now the mangy dog that's in the lion's den.
It's not just his logbook Yogi has to worry about.
Just rolling into fruit fly checkpoint, so these lads will want to know if we've got any fruit and veg in here and where the freight's going.
It's the agricultural equipment on the back. He has the certificate stating it's clean to cross the border. But quarantine officers from the new state can make their own inspection.
So I didn't eat all my bananas, so... Hey, mate.
How you going there, Lonnie?
They were crap. No worries. All Victoria. Yep. Good on you, mate. You have a good day, mate. See you later. Yep. Yeah, should be good. Enjoy Chrissy, eh?
After all the trouble Yogi went through to have the load cleaned, no one here even bothers to look at it. Why do I go to get a wash? You know,
Why?
It seems like a good time to stop, fuel up and clean up. But Yogi's timing couldn't have been worse. Across the road, transport police. If Yogi's a marked man, as he fears, they've surely spotted him. They're circling and heading straight for him.
He's going to come and have a chat. Hello, mate.